this is going to be a controversial video. I'm going to start out by saying your 34-hour reset isn't mandatory. It's optional. And there's a reason behind that. Let's get to it. So, the reason I say your, hello Mr. DOT man, the reason I say your 34-hour reset is optional is because there is something called recaps. You are allowed legally by DOT to recapture hours in a 70-hour, 8-day period. It's a little confusing. It was for me when I first was trying to figure out how to run recaps. But after this video, I'll put pen to paper and show you. It's a lot easier to understand if you can see it on paper. The reason I'm doing this video is because I have mentioned that I've been running for 2.5 weeks straight now without a 34-hour reset. Today is Sunday, June 6th, I believe, and I've been running since May 19th, which I believe it was the 19th. It's a Wednesday is when I started. I picked up the tanker Thursday. So I have mentioned that to some people and they don't believe me. They're like, there's no way, you have to do a 34. It's mandatory by DOT. No, it's not. Your 34-hour reset is optional. If you use up your 70 hours before your 8th day, or before your 8 days is up, then yes, you have to take a reset. Back when I was running my truck, I would use up 70 hours, and 5.5 days, I would have to take a 34-hour reset. Since I've been doing power only, the loads I've been picking up and delivering has not been on a time crunch. I've had basically a day to kill, day and a half to kill in the trip to get the load there. So by doing that, I've been cutting my hours I work every day back. When you're running recaps, if you limit your hours worked per day on duty and driving to 8 3/4 hours, basically 8 hours and 45 minutes a day, you will start getting recaps. You will start recapturing hours. And the reason that is your 70-hour 8-day is a rolling 8 days. The DOT says you cannot work 70 hours, more than 70 hours, in a 8-day period. So your day 9 becomes your day 8. Your day 1 gets scratched off. Your day 2 now becomes your day 1. Today being Sunday, I want to know what I'm going to get back, what I'm going to recapture. You know, I want to know what my recap hours are for tomorrow. When I finish today, if I count back today, which is Sunday, count back 7 days, basically, you know, with today being day 7. Count back 7 days, I figure up how many hours I've worked. Just say, hypothetically, I've worked 8 hours a day. That would put me working 56 hours. Tomorrow will be my 8th day. I will have 14 hours available to work. And it just keeps on going, it keeps on going, it keeps on going. Now, when you're running hard, when you're, you got a hard set deadline, this load has to be delivered, and you have to push hard, you're not going to be able to run recaps. Because you're going to use up all, your 11 hours driving and an hour or two on duty. So, do I think it's beneficial for Hotshots? Personally, I don't think it's beneficial to Hotshots. I want to add something into this video real quick. I say running recaps aren't really beneficial to guys that do Hotshot, but it could be beneficial. I'll give an example. Say you have 4 hours left in your 70-hour cycle, and you have 6 hours still to get to your shipper or your receiver, and that product is supposed to be there tomorrow. If you've had some days where you've only worked 5-6 hours on duty driving, because say you were off duty at a shipper waiting to load for 4, 5, 6 hours, if you write your hours down on paper and you figure it up, today being day 7, tomorrow being day 8, day 8's the day you need to run. You only got 4 hours left on cycle. You still have 6 hours to get to your receiver. Well, you take day 7 through, day 1 through 7, with tomorrow being day 8, and figure up how many hours you're going to get back. You could possibly be getting back some hours. So say you get back 3 hours tomorrow. Well, now you have the 4 hours that you have left in cycle plus the 3 hours. So that would allow you to get to your receiver and get your load offloaded. Because I know a lot of people run, I say shorter trips, 1,000-mile trips, 700-mile trips, and they're usually in a hurry. This load, you're picking up a load that's going 600 miles, has to be delivered tomorrow. So you're going to run hard to get it there tomorrow. Or you're picking it up at the end of the day, and it's 600, 650 miles, and it has to be delivered, not the next day, but the day after. You're going to run hard tomorrow to get it delivered. Then you're going to pick up another load, and you're going to do the same thing over again. So you run out of your hours fast. Like I said, when I was running my truck, I could run up my 70-hour clock, or run out my 70-hour clock in 5 days. So I was required then to take a 70-hour or a 34-hour reset. Some of the guys that like running coast to coast, running recaps could be beneficial to them if they don't like sitting for 34 hours. You just have to scale back the amount of time you work in a day, basically. What is up, everyone? So I was going to do a video on recaps, and I figured since I was doing this, I might as well kind of skim over the whole hours of service dealing with the logbook for anyone that might be thinking about getting into hotshot trucking or just regular trucking. I know there's a ton of videos out there. Maybe I can help in this video with someone that's looking to get in. So basically, most of us run a 70-hour, 8-day work week. There's some other exceptions. There's a before I got into doing this, I always ran an oil field exemption. but there's several other cycles out there. We mainly focus on, or mainly use, the 70-hour 8-day schedule. Now, everyone always sees the 70-hour / 8-day. And what I was talking about earlier is when I said the 34 isn't mandatory. It's basically because you could take that slash out and input the word in. 70 hours in 8 days. So yeah, I'll get to that here in just a second. So basically, I wrote this down on this, that I couldn't find a piece of paper, so I just did it on this. So basically, the way our hours work is we have a 70-hour cycle, a 14 hours on-duty shift, 11-hour drive, and a 30-minute break within 8 hours of being on duty. So when you start driving, from the time you go on duty to do your pre-trip, of course, this starts ticking down. You have 8 hours from the day you go on shift, or from the time you go on shift, you log on duty. You have to take a 30-minute break. With the ELDs nowadays, pretty much when you put it in drive and go over 5 miles an hour, it automatically kicks you into drive on your ELD. You have 11 hours of drive time in that 14-hour shift. You could break it up however you want, but you have 11 hours in that 14-hour on-duty shift. The 14-hour on-duty shift, obviously when you log on duty to do your pre-trip, that starts counting down this clock. Now, even though you're on duty or driving or whatever else, during that 14 hours, you can go off duty or sleeper berth. That way you stop your on-duty driving cycle hours. This 70 hours right here. I do it. When I pull up to a shipper, if they're not ready, I don't care if it's 20 minutes, an hour, however long it is, I go sleeper berth. That way it stops using my 70 hours. Now that's still gonna count down on your 14 for the day. You could come on duty, do your pre-trip, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then go an hour drive, get to a shipper, and you can wait 10 hours to get loaded. When you come back on duty, you're still gonna be left with 3 hours of drive time, or 3 hours and some change of on-duty time. So then you got, of course, you got your off-duty, and then you also have PC. Now, PC is very controversial. The best thing to remember, the best thing to remember with PC is it is up to the officer's discretion. Everything in the FMCSA that talks about PC, down when you get to the very bottom, it says up to officer's discretion. So I'll give you an example. Last week I was 6 hours from Cincinnati. I only had 3 hours of drive time left in my cycle, but I went PC and drove to Cincinnati. Now, I had a good excuse, a very good excuse. I had medicine in my truck. I had just run out of medicine, and I needed to get the medicine out of my truck. So, did I take a risk? Yeah. Technically, I wasn't under dispatch. I was on personal time. I was taking care of personal business. But at the same time, it would have been left up to officer discretion. Can I still get a violation for it? Maybe. If that officer wants to write me a violation whenever I get pulled over. But like I said, the biggest thing to remember with PC is no matter what, it's up to officer discretion. There's other things. You can go to Walmart on PC. You can take care of personal business on PC. But you cannot advance a load. You cannot be, say you're at the truck stop and your dispatcher, or you get on the load board and you find a load and it's for tomorrow. If you, that puts you technically under dispatch. So if you end up driving to Walmart, which is on the way to where your pickup is, and you decide to sleep at Walmart, you will get a violation. Even though you were doing something personal, you were advancing towards your dispatch. So that's basically PC. Like I said, the biggest thing I tell people when someone asks or anything like that is, whatever you do, always remember it's up to officer discretion. So, you know. All right, as far as recaps go, as I said, you are allowed per DOT to run 70 hours in an 8-day period. So take for instance, you work 8 hours every day. This is day 1. I should have wrote that down. Hold on. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you're allowed to work 70 hours in an 8-day period. So day 1, you work 8, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Sunday would be day 7. That puts you at 56 hours. Monday puts you at 64. So what you want to ask is, what can I get back on Tuesday? And the way that works is Tuesday, Monday's your 8th day. Now Tuesday becomes your 8th day. Even though you haven't started working, say it's Tuesday morning, you want to know how many hours you have. Recap. Tuesday becomes day 8. Monday gets taken out of the equation. Tuesday becomes day 1. Monday, day 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8 is 56. How many hours are you going to get back on Tuesday? Sorry about that. How many hours are you going to get back on Tuesday? 70 minus 56, 14 hours. That means Tuesday, you're going to be able to roll 14 hours on duty, 11 hours driving. Say you only work 8. All right. Now it is Wednesday. You want to know, how many hours can I work? Tuesday is taken out of the equation. Wednesday is now day 8. This is day 7. So how many hours can you work on Wednesday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 70 minus 56, 14. you get 14 hours back on Wednesday. And that can keep going over and over and over and over. You can run that schedule indefinitely without ever taking a 34-hour reset. You can run this schedule for 365 days a year without ever stopping. Now, another example. Oops, sorry. Say you work 10s. Monday through Sunday. You're getting back to Monday. How many hours do you have? You have 0, because you worked 70 hours. So, how many hours are you going to get Tuesday? You take Monday out. You work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60 hours from here to here. You get 10 hours back on Tuesday. Now, in this situation, you might as well just take a 34, because you're going to shut down Sunday evening. You can't go anywhere Monday, and you're going to start back up Tuesday. You're basically taking a 34-hour reset. The way I was running was basically 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, and then I was done. I couldn't do anything else, so I had to take a reset here from Friday evening, Saturday into Sunday morning, and then restart with 70 hours. So, like I said, recaps are perfectly legal. If you wanted to run this schedule, you can actually run like 8.75 hours. That'll give you about 8 hours and 15 minutes of drive time. Well, not even that, because you're going to have to take your 30-minute break. So you're going to have probably 7 hours and 45 minutes of drive time, and then 15 on your pre-trip, 15 on your post-trip, and a 30-minute break, which would actually be 7.5 hours of drive time. So that's how you run recaps. I can kind of give you an idea. I don't know how well it'll pick up on my phone. So 8 hours until break, an hour and 27 of drive time left, 2 hours on my shift, my 14-hour shift, with 7.5 hours left in my cycle. If you go by the 70-hour 8-day, you need to take a 34. I got 7.5 hours tomorrow, or 7 hours and 50 minutes that I can drive tomorrow, and then I gotta take a reset. 34 hours, right? No, I got 14 hours and 19 minutes left tomorrow. That's what's coming back to me in recap. And this is the ELD doing this. This ain't nothing I can change. 10 hours and 48 minutes today. I ran a little long yesterday. So by doing this, I'm cutting in to my recap hours. This is slowly gonna dwindle down. 6 hours and 52 minutes. This was driving to Cincinnati from Pennsylvania. 6.5 hours. At 11 hours Monday, 6.5 hours Sunday, 11.5, 8.5, right at 14 hours, 8 hours and 45 minutes. So that's allowed me to run off recaps. Also, if you look in your logbook, this is what I was talking about. Recap. Total lines 3 and 4. You do this every day. You know, fill them out. That's the way you used to keep up with your recap hours when you actually ran paper logs. Like right now, when I'm in my 2000 Freightliner, I run paper logs. Now I'm not actually running a paper logbook, I'm running Keep Trucking, but it's not connected to an ELD. Anyway, that's how recaps work.